Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. Oh, gosh. I feel like I kind of slid in here sideways without doing a couple of things. I am really struggling to get with the jive of being my own producer. Okay, here we go. I am going to get my new banner posted up in the chat room. I want to let you guys know that I am over in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12radio.com. That's 12radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. And you will see my banner at the top of the page. And there will be people chatting there. You can also watch this event via a live stream over at Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic on YouTube or on Facebook. So easy enough to find me. We've got really important work today, I think, in my humble opinion. Okay, good morning, guys. All righty, so let's get to it. I realized at the last second that I really wanted to do some singing bowl work today, and so I was dashing for the singing bowl I wanted. Put me behind by just a teeny bit. So I'm going to sign out here. As you guys know, I'm a professional psychic advisor over at 12listen.com. And I've been working all morning and realized I'm still signed in to work. And that's just not going to work. So there we go. All signed out and good to go. Okay. Now we can get to it. Oh gosh, you guys. How are you doing? It's been a really interesting time. I am talking to so many people right now who are really struggling with feeling their worth. I don't know if you've experienced that. I hope you haven't, to be honest, but a lot of you have. And so we're going to talk about it. Weirdly, uh, well, I don't know if it's weird or not, but one of the perks, I guess, of my job is that I talk to people all over the world, and sometimes I see some interesting trends. And when I see a trend, I like to work on it with you guys because, well, I feel like that's my job. And one of the trends I have been seeing is feeling some self esteem stuff, and a lot of it based around things that happened when you were a kid. One thing I have heard multiple times in the last few days is mean girls, stories about when whatever client, whenever someone I'm talking to was in junior high or high school or maybe even grade school, things that were said or done to them that has affected them throughout their lifetime that for some reason is coming up right now as a problem. And so I want to work on it. I think this is a good thing that we can work on. Oh, 1, 2 is dead air. Oh, hold on. For some reason, it's not giving me an option to run my microphone. I'm not sure why. Hold on. Okay, I'm guessing that is it. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so I'm live on radio now. I don't know why this app is or this program sometimes pulls a bait and switch on me. Okay, sorry about that. 1 2 Radio should be live air now. So, but of course we are live over in the live stream as well. Thank you, Tiffany, for letting me know. I wasn't sure. So, I love that you guys keep an eye on things for me and let me know if something's going awry. So, at any rate, we are talking about self-esteem, self-esteem in and dealing with past stuff, old stuff that might still be coming up as something painful. So, It's what the daily dish was about this morning. So I want to post a copy of the daily dish. Will you guys in the chat room please let me know if you are hearing me now on the live stream? You should be. But again, let's see. I'm just refreshing. Yes, it worked. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you. And Denise, thanks, you guys. Okay, we are all good. Okay. All right. So I'm just posting the daily dish everywhere so that you guys can see it as well as in the chat. Yeah, I mean, sibling girls, definitely. Definitely, Jane. Absolutely. That's a part of it. All right. Let me pull up this picture here for the chat room and we'll talk about it. Okay. So here's what the daily dish was this morning. You may discover some old hurts or injuries coming forward today from your younger years. It's an excellent time to revisit scenarios like that, to see them through your adult eyes. Hurtful situations that occur when we are children can form core beliefs about who we believe we are. For example, someone who was rejected or called fat or otherwise mistreated as a child may still believe those things about themselves, even though they were never true in the first place. It's time to stop letting a fifth grader dictate who you are. Think about those situations, talk them out with someone if you need to, and then recognize that hurt people hurt people. Someone hurt you because they were hurt, not because any of the things that were said were actually true. Forgive them for being young and dumb, and forgive yourself for carrying this around. You don't need it anymore. I feel like that resonates with a lot of us on some level. And that is definitely something that comes across as a problem for a lot of people. Unfortunately, bullying really rolls downhill, right? Somebody gets bullied at home or at school or wherever, and then they bully. It's a really bad uh, path, that's a vicious circle, I think, that continues to roll forward. So, if this is true for you, and like I said, for some reason, this has been coming up for multiple clients here in the last several days that people are feeling really weird about past stuff and being triggered by this stuff right now. And so I feel like this is something that we can work on together. And so I guess the first thing to do, is to consider, are there things that you were told as a child, either by adults or children, that have colored the way you feel about yourself or the way you see yourself? And if they were, I'm going to take you through a process to release those things, to give yourself some space from them, because by God, you don't need them at all. And they're not true. I was thinking about a fifth grade experience that I had. Uh, my best friend, Emily, was tall and thin and just naturally tall and thin, always was. And I was short. I mean, I'm 5'1". I was small. But definitely bigger boned. I wasn't a heavy kid at all. Looking back at pictures, I'm like, what the hell? I wasn't a heavy kid. It wouldn't matter if I was, but I wasn't. And yet, there were some kids in my school that for some reason there were some boys that we had started some joking around with that everybody had a nickname. And they called her Aunt because she was so tiny, so skinny. And they called me Elephant. Yeah, I allowed that. Yeah. I can't even remember what we called the rest of them. It wasn't actually meant in a mean spirit, really, but it still made a mark because what 12-year-old girl wants to be called an elephant? But I didn't know maybe what to do, right? So I rolled with it. And I allowed that. And it definitely painted a picture for me of being fat. My mom was heavy. She always was my whole life. She had a gastric bypass. It didn't help very much because she had a disease called lipedema that I have. And with lipedema, you just gain weight. You don't really lose it. You can lose some here and there, and I, and God knows we try, but there's just a lot because it's not fat; it's lymph that is refusing to be worked through your system because of the disease. Blah blah blah. That's a whole story for another day. But at any rate, my mom was very sensitive about her weight and very defensive about weight for good reason. Because again, she'd done everything under the sun to lose that weight and it wasn't coming off because it wasn't fat. She wasn't laying on the couch feeding herself bonbons all day. She wasn't. It wasn't fat. Anyway, so for me, at that age, already kind of bearing the brunt of knowing how my mom felt about weight and being called fat or considered fat or whatever. I then to be called elephant, like it wasn't a good look. It wasn't good for me. Well, I had a very young, insightful, meaning well teacher. Her name was Miss Inman, Dawn Inman. I've never forgotten her. She was wonderful. I loved her. She made me want to be a teacher. I loved her so much. But she did something to try to help that was not helpful. I get it. Even at the time I got it, I understood why she did this. But even now, I'm like, what the hell made her think this was something that would help? She discovered this that we were calling each other these names, particularly that I was being called that, and she told the boys, "I don't ever want to hear that again. That is not nice." And they're like, "No, we're just joking. It's just funny." She's like, "No, it's not happening." Okay, that would have been fine to leave it right there. But she didn't. She decided that she needed to teach a little lesson to the kids in different body types. Makes sense, I guess, in some capacity, right? So she in science, she said she wanted to discuss and point out some things about body types and bone structure. And so she lined several kids up across the classroom. A tiny little bird of a girl that was very tiny, like her wrists were this big around kind of a thing, really little. And a couple of boys with different bone structures, and me. And she was pointing out how this person has a bigger bone structure. So they might not be, they're not overweight, but they are bigger than this person because their bone structure is bigger. And that, uh, that stung like crazy. Again, I get it. I get what she was trying to do, but it just put the whole class's focus on me and the size of my body, and it was horrifying. And I cried and I cried and I cried the whole rest of the day over that. I don't know if she ever understood how actually terrible that was, but God bless her. Her intention was good, but the delivery was way bad. Anyway, that experience with her and with those kids convinced me I was fat. And then I started to really struggle to find clothes that I liked because I felt fat in everything. And I can remember the next year buying school clothes and everything we bought. I hated it. I had a hard time picking anything and had an utter meltdown about it because I felt like I looked terrible in everything. And of course my mom is like, "What the hell is your problem? You look great." Like you know, uh, where is this coming from? Well, that's where it was coming from. And I carried it with me for a long time. That's just one of mine. I understand now where that came from and that was also a perpetrator because we had nicknames for everybody. Only mine was the only one that really picked on what could have been weight. But, you know, It is what it is at this point. But it was a wound. It was a wound that I carried for a long time, and maybe I still do. Those are the kinds of wounds I'm talking about. Whether they came from someone else, whether they came from a family member, a friend, a kid, or whatever, we all carry these wounds. And again, sometimes as adults, you have to look back and recognize that was just a dumbass kid. Yeah, that said that. And I was also a kid, so I believed it, and here I still am. So those are the kinds of wounds that I've been seeing coming up in my clients as of late. So that's why I share that kind of painful, intimate story with you guys because I feel like it's worth examining what wounds you may have from childhood and what we can do to make them better. So, oh, Sid said, I just learned that mean perps are fully aware that what they do is wrong and hurtful. Otherwise, they wouldn't typically be so secretive and covert. The idea that they are hurt or victims, implying that open hearted empath targets are supposed to put up with their behavior in order to be forgiving or spiritual, is whitewashing the truth, which is that the meanies seek out easy, nice targets and that humans are born with kind, loving hearts or black ones. Well, I would say, Sid, I agree that's true for adults. I think with kids, it's thoughtless. Kids are dumb. It's true that they'll be sneaky about stuff, but kids are always sneaky. But I've just seen it so many times in kids that are being hurt that turn around and hurt. It doesn't make it right, though. You're right. It doesn't make what they're doing right in any way at all. And as adults, no, that's no excuse whatsoever. Yeah. Oh, yep. Mary Jane said, I was always a target. I looked 20 at 12 and married at 15. So for me, weight was a defense. Not to sexualize me, to try to distance people from me. Took me years to realize. Oh, yeah. Jane said I might have been 10 pounds overweight, but I wasn't even 5 feet tall. So mom and I started dieting when I was 12. Lifelong body dysmorphia. Oh, yeah. When my younger sister turned 12, my mom's mom gave her a bunch of cans of Slim Fast for her birthday. Mhm. Yep. Oh my god, my parents were pissed. As you can imagine, her feelings were terribly hurt. My grandma would also pinch your butt and say, "You're getting fat," or "You've got a fat butt," and stuff like that. What the hell? What the hell? But it's not just about weight, it's about lots of things. It's about rejection, it's about kids pretending to be your friend when really don't want to be your friend. It's about kids acting, any certain way, kids bullying them, whatever. It's about all of those things. But at this rate, it's about recognizing that these were dumbass kids and we don't have to carry those beliefs anymore. We're adults now. We get to release them and not have to carry them any longer. So that's what I was thinking about. At any rate, so we're going to use the singing bowl and we're going to do some singing bowl releasing. Now, obviously, these aren't just kids. Maybe these were adults that did this to you. Maybe it was adults who made you feel like you weren't good enough, like you weren't loved, like you weren't lovable, like you weren't somebody that deserved anyone's time or attention or money or whatever, right? So I'm going to play the singing bowl. I'm just going to ask you guys to focus your energy there on your solar plexus. The solar plexus is the chakra right above your belly button. It's normally yellow of some sort. And we're going to just dive deep into the solar plexus. So, the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to play the bowl, and I want you guys to just focus on releasing anything you're carrying in your solar plexus that no longer serves you. Easy enough. Just releasing anything that no longer serves you. I'll make the command, and then you guys can just focus there and allow the work to happen. All right. So, focusing on your solar plexus, commanding that any and all cords, connections, attachments, psychic attacks, psychic debris, core beliefs, past experiences, and anything else you have been told that settled into your place of self esteem, personal power, and your light that isn't in your highest and best good now be healed and cleared and rendered neutral and inert in all directions of time now, through every cell of your physical body, every layer of your emotional body, and every fiber of your spirit body now. Now I'm just going to play the bowl and we're going to allow that work to happen. Perfect. Okay, so let's change gears now. I'm going to play the bowl again. This time, I want you to focus on your solar plexus. I'm going to make the command and then we'll make it happen. So, focusing on your solar plexus, allowing a shift to a place of peace, a place of comfort, a place of confidence, a deep inner knowing that all is well, that you are powerful, you are capable, you are confident, you are free and safe to love yourself and trust yourself. Commanding these frequencies to shift through every cell of your physical body, every layer of your emotional body, and every fiber of your spirit body now. Perfect. Okay. So there you go. Now, we might have opened up some stuff, triggered some stuff. You can come back and listen to this anytime and go back through that clearing. You can also just allow yourself to let go of old stuff, decide you don't believe that anymore, that you don't want to carry that anymore, and move forward without it. I know you can. Laurie, thank you very much. Truly, I had a beautiful childhood in lots and lots of ways, but we all had some trauma, right? We all had a dumbass here and there. That's a part of childhood. I wish it wasn't, but kids, well, kids are kids, you know. Yep, yep. All righty. Well, let's keep moving. But thank you very much. I appreciate you as well. All right, let's keep moving. Just double checking the chat. Yep. Some of the dumbass kids were teachers too, Denise said. Last name was a target for anyone to make jokes. Yeah. Yeah. That sucks. That's unfair too, for sure. Thank you, Tiff. You are very welcome. Yeah, I love the bowls. I don't know why we don't do the bowls every week. Sometimes I don't feel, the inspiration to do them, and most of the time I do, but guess I need to look. Because we need those bowls. We need that work. Okay. Oh, Sid said, oh, Ellie, you're very welcome. Sid said, especially for us ladies growing up not being allowed by family or society to establish proper boundaries causes so many incidents where we're not able to just be ourselves in peace. Boy, isn't that the truth? There's a saying that goes around every spring these days, how to get a bikini body ready for summer. Put a bikini on your body. Love it. I've been wearing tank tops this year for the first time in a long time because I didn't want other people to have to see my arms. And I finally went, fuck it. Why? Why? That might be what happens when you turn 45 too. You just really don't care what other people think anymore. I don't know. But I'm sure loving my tank tops because it has been hot as hell. Laurie said it's true. We all have trauma in different ways. No one escapes it. And these other wounds we have to deal with as adults. Real for sure. For sure. We can choose to or we cannot. The choice is ours. And some are, of course, much deeper and require a hell of a lot more work than others. Yeah. Mary Beth said at dinner with my husband's friend, he was FaceTiming his girlfriend, turned the camera on me, and he said he loved my blue hair. Into the conversation, she is bleaching her hair to dye it blue. It made me feel, oh, like a WTF moment, and it was inappropriate. So tired of people feeling like they can cross boundaries. Yeah. Seems like a lot of politeness is kind of off the table these days, right? Very disappointing, honestly, that we have lost some level of politeness and kindness that we used to have. Yeah. Maya says, thank you for this topic. There was a girl that couldn't stand me from K through 12, and she just passed away of cancer. I'm having trouble reconciling my feelings about her. Such a timely topic. Oh, Maya, you're so welcome. And I'm sorry. You didn't ever deserve that. Yeah. Yeah. You're very welcome, Sid. My honor. Well, let's take a look at Luminous. There are a couple of things in there that I wanted to discuss. So I'm going to put in a link in both chat rooms, but you probably already received it if you subscribed to it earlier today in your email. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. All right. Just went with a very bright cover, you know, illuminating. See what I did there? It's been really hot here. I know it has been where you guys are too, but I learned something from a Facebook friend this week that is awesome. She takes an ice pack to bed, wrapped in a dish towel, of course. You don't want to give yourself a, I was going to say freezer burn. That's wrong. But you don't want to give yourself frostbite. But she wraps an ice pack in a dish towel and just puts it on her stomach for 15 or 20 minutes and then just puts it on her nightstand and goes to sleep. And she said it really helps her to just go to sleep when it's too hot. So I tried it. Holy shit. Cooling her core. I think there's probably some science to this, but I won't profess to know exactly what it is. Hey, Lillian. But when you cool your core, and of course, you want your head and feet open, right? So that you can lose heat from your head and your feet. But when you cool your core, it helps to cool the rest of your body. So, anyway, that's brilliant and it helps. So, if anybody else is too hot to sleep, now you know. Hopefully, you guys just all have AC and it's doing its job. We don't because you didn't used to need to have AC where I live. We might have 1 or 2 hot days where we felt like we were dying. Now we have a whole month of them. And now I'm like, "Oh my god. I don't know. We need AC. That's what's true." But anyway, so there's a pro tip for you. I am calling this week's magazine You Have Always Been Enough because of the topic at hand. Okay. Last week, I think I told you guys, maybe I did. I did. I told you I was thinking about buying out somebody else's business, their sublimation business. So sublimation is the printing process I've been playing with this, for this last year. I've showed you guys a ton of things that I've made, but just as a reminder, I'll show you a tile since that's what's in front of me. Um, But, I've made tons and tons of stuff. But at any rate, this is the printing, pressing situation or a process. It's not a situation, process that I've been learning and playing with. Well, I found a lady that lives in a neighboring town who was selling out her business. She has been doing this work, but it has created too much of a hardship on her, space wise, as well as she got a promotion at her job that's just left her without enough time to do it. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, she, uh, she sold me her whole system and for a crazy price, a crazy, crazy price. And it was a little leap for me because I did have to take a little bank loan for it. And I'm a cancer. I don't like to borrow money ever, ever. And but I did it because I felt like this might be worth it. And it is worth it because by the time I got everything home, all of the materials that I got from her and the equipment is so much nicer than what I have. She went ahead and bought like all the best stuff. I've been kind of doing it the budget way. And she was doing it all in, all done. And wow. Anyway, yeah. So what I got from her is worth about 5 times more than what I actually paid for it, which is astonishing. But anyhow, so I've got it all home and I finally got my craft room all set up and inventoried and organized as best I can. There's a lot of stuff. But anyway, that means that I'm really going to try and make more of a business out of sublimating. I mean, of course, I'm still going to continue to do all of my psychic work. Don't get me wrong. Nothing's changing there. I'm just going to discipline my time a little bit better, make more things, post them more on Etsy so that I can actually do something with them and do more special orders. So I wanted you guys to know because I have a bigger, nicer printer now, a better press, all kinds of cool stuff, and I could pretty much do anything you wanted me to. So you can definitely do some kind of any kind of personalized anything. If you see anything you want, you can send it to me and I can figure out how to make it. Like seriously. As far as, if there's a design you want, a t-shirt you want, or a whatever, I can absolutely do it. But anyway, always you can feel free to reach out to me if there's anything that you are wanting or you think I can do for you. Her materials, tons of mugs, cups, water bottles, shirts, hoodies, throws, baby blankets, wallets, pendants, earrings, lighters, can cozies, tiles, flasks, socks, journals, and so much more, actually. It's so wild. So anyway, I'm working on it, but I also in my musings in Luminous, I did put a listing of some of the things I've made in the last year for fun, for examples. So anyway, if I can do anything for you, let me know. I am just having a ball with this. It's such a good creative outlet for me. It's just fun. So anyway, if you see something, if you see a design or something that you love, I do create graphics. Yeah, Jane. I buy them a lot too from other designers that are, I think, better than me. But honestly, when I'm pushed to have to create something myself, I realize that I could be doing a lot more of that too. I probably will in the future. But anyway, so there you go. Alrighty, let's keep going. Brand new scopes for Kelly. By the way, keep Ginger in your thoughts and prayers. She lives in that part of Kentucky that has flooded so badly, and she's volunteering to help other people that have lost their homes, their everything. This is such a crisis in Appalachia because we're talking about people that already didn't have a damn thing, and now their homes are gone, potentially, or horribly flooded. It's a horrible tragedy that isn't really getting enough press, really. And it needs a whole lot more because we are talking about people that are terribly poverty stricken. So I wanted to share a few things that that Ginger had shared because She also has no power and is just trying really hard to help take care of people. So she posted a Facebook page called Aspire Appalachia that is helping people and taking donations and helping work on that. So I want to share with you guys that link uh, so that you have it in case you would like to do some kind of, uh, donating or sending materials or whatnot, but at least be very aware that this is happening because it's terrible. It's a really bad situation. And these are folks that desperately need our help. Okay. Always meditations over at Planet Meditation to help you if you're working on meditation stuff. Bitch scopes are brand new from Miss Kelly. She said, I am so tired of living in extraordinary times. Boredom, where art thou? I miss thee. I thought that was awesome. I agree. Okay, let's take a look at a scope. How about Taurus? We never do Taurus. You will feel your best this week when you are connected with your friends and peers. Good conversation and company will fill your cup. Romance, romance drama can be diffused with playfulness, lightness, and fun. If you're having romantic drama, again, it's time for you to pull your energy back from the source of the drama, especially if it is your ex. If your thoughts and memories are coloring your mood, you gotta let that shit go so that you don't poison the water of your current relationships. Ooh, that's a good one. That rings true kind of to what we're working on today anyway. So thanks, Cal. Always good. All right. My tip this week is my bed clearing salt. We talk about space clearing all the time, and I think that it is really important to think about what kind of clearing your home might need and clearing your bed. Christy and I still go into people's homes in our area that hire us to come and do a full clearing. And when we're done with the clearing itself, we always use a pendulum and ask if this space is fully clear. A lot of times it's not. There's still something that you need to put more attention on. 90% of the time, it is a bed. A bed. A master bed, maybe another room. There's a few reasons for it. I mean, beds are where you convalesce. There are a lot of times where you heal not just from being ill, but maybe from being hurt in other ways. Beds are where a lot of your mental stuff is worked out when you're sleeping. A lot of energy is processed in your bed. So beds get really heavy with energy. Sometimes it's what's under your bed. If you use the space under your bed as storage, in a perfect world, you just wouldn't. But I know that sometimes you live in a space where you need that space, right? So you have to use it for storage. If that's true, just clear your bed more often. You can smudge it for sure, but sometimes that's not enough. What if this is the bed that you've been sleeping in with your ex? Now they're gone. You need to get their energy out of there in every way possible. What if you laid in that bed for the last 9 months recovering from COVID or cancer, something terrible, or from a big bout of depression or something that's really been heavy on you that you've been going through in that bed? Sometimes a bigger clearing is called for. What if you bought a used bed? A bigger clearing is called for, right? So here's how you do it. Take 2 cups of sea salt and a tablespoon each of dried basil and dried rosemary. Really crush up the rosemary good, by the way, because it gets kind of stuck when you vacuum it up. Not necessarily, depending on your bed. Uh, mix that up, spread that salt over your bare mattress. So strip all your sheets and stuff off. Let it sit for a few hours. The salt is the crystal. It's going to absorb all of the bad vibes in that, or not just bad vibes, let's just say vibes. It's going to absorb all that energetic influence in the bed. The basil is also a clearing agent, so it's just helping to do the job. And rosemary is an amplifier of other plant magic or magic. And so rosemary just helps to amp up the whole process. When you're done, vacuum it all up and then dispose of the salt outside. Personally, I like to put a little salt around all four corners of my property. And so I usually just go out and put it in those places. Vacuum it good. And then spritz your mattress with rose water because that helps to invite the peaceful, joyful vibes back in. So that's how you clear and bless your bed. If you have a different system that you use that you like, great, more power to you. But that's a really good one, a tried and true one that really helps to just release stuff that you don't need there any longer. Okay. Christy did an energy exercise this week is a Kuan Yin exercise for relief. Need some relief from something? Kuan Yin. All right. The Magic Monday message from Melissa. It's always going to be okay. I had a friend years ago who she was a really interesting example for me. She had 8 kids and I was like pregnant with my first. And she used to say, "Oh, it'll all come out in the wash. It always does." And by God, it always does. Maybe not right now, but I've always found that statement to be mostly true. Okay, heart happenings from Ginger. I saw your request over there, Jane. So we'll do it with Ginger. We're going to do Libra. All right, this is her message for the week. And also, what a rock star this girl is. Got herself to where she had power and cell phone service so that she could send these over to me because she didn't want me to think I forgot about her when I couldn't get a hold of her because she has no power because she's in the middle of a disaster area. Ginger, you are the best. Thank you very much. The angels and guides show opportunities around knowledge, study, and learning. They say you have the wisdom and know how to set your dreams into motion. Her manifesting angel for Libra is Archangel Zadkiel. Archangel Zadkiel steps forth and shows opportunities around learning, classes, teaching, and wisdom in all forms. Ooh, gaining knowledge for Libra. I love it. All right. Well, you can imagine over at True Crime Paranormal, there's plenty of crime to go around. Oh my gosh, we had one of the funniest segments though. Well, actually, it was our case that went live this morning. Uh, we do these little segments of crimes that are shorter, like a 5 minute maybe. One of these was mine. It's WTF news. And this is a crime that actually happened in 2011, but I had just learned of it. A woman and her lover decided to murder her husband for some life insurance. That is the age old tale with women. You got to quit doing that. Like, the first thing they look at is what do you stand to gain, bro? They get you caught, but whatever. Anyway, so they did murder her husband and they were arrested. And the headlines were all over their town. Well, her last name is Boob. Yeah, you heard me right. Boob, Boob. So there'd been a bunch of hilarious headlines from the newspaper about the boob murders, which it's a murder. It's not funny, but the headlines, oh my good Lord. Anyway, over time, they realized that there was actually a getaway driver that wasn't her or the boyfriend, and he was arrested. Guy's name is Kermit Butts, Butts. Yep, or Butt, not with an S. I think it's just Butt. Anyway, so the headline Butt arrested in boob murder. I know. I am a child. I thought that was so freaking funny. Anyway, so that and so much more over at True Crime Paranormal. All righty. And then a brand new video from Jamie Dawn for her celestial wisdom. She said, "Big energy this week from July 31st through August 7th." So you can be sure and watch that. So there you have it. That is Scopes this week, or Luminous this week with some great scopes. So there you go. Okay. All righty. Yeah. Poor Ginger man. Yeah, but she's doing her work, obviously, and taking good care of the people around her. And anyway, we'll just do whatever we can to help her and help support her and also the people there as well. Obviously, they need it. Okay, what is next? Okay, I already brought this to your attention, but I'm going to do it a few times to make sure that people really know about the new suicide hotline number. The suicide hotline number has changed. That happened in mid July, but a lot of people don't know about it yet. The number is 988. So just like 911, it's 988. You can call that from any phone or text it, which is brilliant. Not everyone wants to talk on the phone. And depending on the emotional state that somebody's in, they really might not be able to talk on the phone. So it's the text line is extremely important. But you can call or text 988 if you are feeling suicidal or if somebody else in your world is feeling suicidal and you need some help. You need some resources, you need to know what to do, you need to know if you should be worried about this or how to respond or what to do with it. It's right here, right here. And you need to know it. You need to know it. We need to keep spreading that number around, making sure people know about it. I suspect that the suicide hotline is going to get much more utilized now because it's easier to remember. That was an 11 number phone number before now. And when people are in a really distressed mental state, a lot of times they're not looking up a phone number and they're sure not remembering a 11-digit number. Hopefully, this will help. So, and the text line, there's been a text line for a while, but this just makes it that much more clear. I think the text line is really important. You guys know that I will be celebrating in September 10 years here at One Two Radio and at One Two Listen. 10 years. I have some clients that I have been chatting with over at One Two Listen for a better part of that 10 years who I have never spoken to on the phone. Yep. They only chat. And that's fine. That's completely fine. For some people, that's what they want. They don't want to talk on the phone. And that's why we have chat services because it's easier for some people or it's more appropriate for them or whatever. But I think it's such a fun thought that some of you I've spoken to on the phone via video, via radio. I've taught your classes, via video. Like we've seen each other. Uh, but with some of my chat clients, that's never been the case. And I've been chatting with them for a lot of years. I also was thinking the other day, and this client, she doesn't know this. I should tell her someday, but the very first call I had at One Two Listen 10 years ago, terrifying, right? Like I've been doing this work in person for a lot of years, but not on a hotline. The phone rings, you push the right buttons. Thank you for calling One Two Listen. This is Katie. Butterflies, scared to death, right? And it was this wonderful lady who still calls me. She was my very first client at One Two Listen, and it's been 10 years, and I still talk to her at One Two Listen. And I love that very much. And every once in a while, I talk to her and I think about how amazing that is that it's been 10 years and that she still calls. Well, a lot of you do, but it's just special. Anyway, that's all. I know. So next year or next year, next month when we get to the actual day, we'll do a bigger celebration and a sale and stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. I know, Kev 10. Crazy. I started at 1 2 shortly after my mom died, a year after my mom died, and not very many months before my dad died. I was kind of sandwiched right in between, right there. Yep. Okay. Anyway. All right. So, but I did want to just bring that number to your awareness one more time, just to be sure. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our reading from Kathleen. I realized somebody said to me, I really wish you'd come back to 1 2 radio. And I was like, I've never left 1 2 radio. Well, here's why she thought that. My archives haven't been being updated since Scott left 1 2 radio. Why? Because I was a spoiled bee who was getting them done for me because Scott would always just do them. It's usually the host's job to do it themselves, but my producer husband was just doing mine. So I hadn't really thought about it. So I realized after her comment last week that I had 6 weeks, 5 weeks of archives to post, and that those of you who listen via archive probably haven't heard my show in a while. So I apologize. I'm going to do my best to get my shit together and not do that again. so, but they're current now. I posted them. But one of the things I discovered, uh, it's all just logistical stuff. It used to be that uh, we were done 5 minutes before the hour. Now we get to go clear to the end of the hour. But several times now, the end of my show has been cut off because I was still talking. And a lot of times it was because we were still doing bibliomancy. So I'm trying to do it a little sooner so we don't get cut off. So this is our message from Kathleen Peterson, as well as her ascended masters or her light beings that she channeled. So we'll just ask, who do we need a message from this week? We're flipping. It's Guinevere. Did we have Guinevere last week? I think we had her like 2 weeks ago. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. We're doing it. Guinevere, we're going to trust the process, right? Okay. Today I come to talk about romance and romantic love. I am here to assist you in your search for romantic love, both for those inside a current relationship and for those who have none and wish one. I see that many of you are unsure of where to go and whom to trust. I will assist you with this. It is important that when you seek romance, you know who you are and accept that whoever is attracted to you wishes you to be who you are and not give yourself over to them. I stress that if you are unique, and it is that uniqueness that attracts someone originally. Many of you become involved in romantic relationships and then try to please your partner by trying to become who you think they want you to be. I am here to tell you to remain in your truth. Romance can be a part of your life when you are precisely who you are. Do not give away parts of yourself to please another, for then the relationship is based on a false premise. Be true to yourself and at the same time be open and willing to accept another for exactly who they are. You are all divine, and a part of the attraction between two people comes from that part of you. Romance is wonderful when two people find each other and revel in the similarities and differences each brings to the relationship. Open your hearts and share who you are. Be true to yourself and to your love. Know that in many ways, instances of each of you has fears and doubts. Call on me, and I will assist you to be open and sharing in the relationship. Know that the more complete you feel within, the more open you can be in the relationship without any expectations that the other will fill your empty spaces. Approach a romance with a light heart and an open mind. Allow it to unfold at its own pace and be at peace. Romance is wonderful. It brings a glow to your life because it is an outward manifestation that you feel loved. Call on me to help you in this area. Know that you can experience romance at whatever age. Be open and optimistic that if this is what you desire, I can help you find it. Be willing to receive as well as give, for romance is a two-way interaction. I send my love and blessings. Let love flower in your life, and when you feel stuck, call on me. May your life be filled with love, light, and romance. Have a romance with life today. So there you have it. That is from Kathleen Peterson and Guinevere. I love that. I don't know if we have had that actually in hindsight. That's beautiful. Thank you, Kathleen. I JR wants to know if my archives go back all the way to 10 years. They don't. In fact, it looked to me like when I posted these, I had about 25 or 30. So I know they fall off after so much time because, 1 2 Radio doesn't want to have that much data to store. But that's, however, I've been doing my live stream of my show for a few years now. And so if you go over to YouTube to Domestic Mystic, I think that's where you are actually, JR. I have, I think, a few years of archives that way. So that's one way to back way up. But yeah, yeah. Renee, you're so very welcome. Absolutely. My honor. I had one quick reading I wanted to do, and that is for Maureen because she just experienced a birthday. And I wondered if we had any birthday messages for her. So let's pull a couple of cards. It looks like we have, let's see, 2 minutes and 56 seconds left. Okay, Maureen, I'm going to pull you a couple of cards here. That cracks me up. Okay, so let's just pull 3 cards for you for birthday messages. And I'm using the Psychic Tarot in case you're curious. All right. The first card is mental conflict, meaning that this first part of the year, of this trip around the sun, you may have some conflict in what you want versus where you are right now or what you're doing. It's just one of those things that's a catalyst for change. Mid year, movement choices and decisions, which the mental conflict, I think, leads you to in making a change, perhaps in where you're living or where you're working, things like that. And then the last card is temptation. This card can be a really good one too. I feel like this whole year you have that kind of uncomfortable in your skin, desire to change, to do something different, kind of bubbling up in you. And it'll be your opportunity, I think, to make some changes if you choose to. Again, you don't have to, but I feel like you'll have some opportunities to make some changes if you want to. So that's what comes up there. I love that. Hey, Lucian. Yeah, I didn't notice you before. Yeah, so, I feel like there's definitely some good work to be done this year and some important work to be done this year for you as well. Not your butterflies and rainbows kind of message, but I feel like some energy that's a good catalyst for change moving forward. And that is a very good thing. So that's what comes up. Hey guys, we've done it. We've talked down to the end of the show. I want to remind you that I'm a professional psychic advisor over at 12listen.com. That's number one, number two, listen.com. I can help you with mediumship, psychic readings, energy work, shifting old patterns, help, advice, whatever you're looking for. I'll do my best to help you out. And of course, animal communication. So thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you more than you know. You guys are my tribe. Have a great day. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.